Welcome to the live stream. We are live. Super excited to be here with you. Some really big announcements today. We're going to give a second for everyone to announce themselves. Let us know that you're here in the comments. That'd be fantastic. Brett, welcome. Woo! Love it. Is that Silverking? I don't know, whatever that is. So Sideking, I'm not sure. This is so exciting. It is exciting. I'm super excited about this. Big announcement today. Really big announcement. I'm here, says Neo Jade. Thank you for being here and joining us. Also, not only commenting to let us know that you're here. I look forward to hearing about this. Forrest, hey, excited to be here. Excited to have you, Forrest. But also, any of the comments, any of the likes, any of the shares, all of those things help it so that your friends and other people get exposed to this, that this goes out to more places. That's what triggers the algorithm for YouTube, for Facebook, and on down the list. So we definitely want you to be interacting as much as possible, liking, reacting, sharing, commenting, all that good stuff. That's all going to help this get seen by more people. So Helena Wicker, hi, Helena. Welcome aboard, or Helena. I'm not sure how I pronounce that. And if I lean in like this, it's because I'm overdue for glasses and my eyesight needs some help. Again, one of those things you probably should not tell an audience about when you are directing an animated show. It's like, oh yeah, my eyesight's not very good. I don't know what we're going to come up with. As you can see behind me, we've got some fun artwork that's coming down the way. Some of you might have already seen this over here. Gosh, that's disorienting. There we go. That official poster. There it is, this side. And we've got the official Tuttle Twins show logo now right there. And some of you might have seen that we posted that poster on social media, but where they're flying through the time tunnel with Grandma in her crazy time-traveling wheelchair. And Derek the raccoon and all that's there. Over my shoulder right there is also Sheriff Winkles, who's going to be a really fun character in this. And then over on this other side, pointing, there it is. Gosh, this is so disorienting. Okay, Grandma right there on that side of my head. Grandma in her wheelchair. And then here's our antagonist, Karen. And there's Ethan and Emily over there on my shoulder as well. So you can kind of check those out. We'll be looking at some more character designs a little bit later as well. Okay, again, if you are just jumping on, let me know where you're watching. Go ahead and leave that in the comments so that we can get a sense of the audience. Last time we had people stretched from all over Southern California and Florida, Alabama, Utah, and I think it went all the way out to, didn't we have someone that was coming in from Africa or something like that? It was out there. Anyway, it was awesome. The idea of the Tuttle Twins is so genius. Love the artwork. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I cannot take much credit for it. I contract some really great illustrators and character designers and things like that, but they'll be very happy to hear that you're enjoying that. Okay, hey from Florida. Hey, how's it going, Revel? And then from Los Angeles. Awesome. Welcome from Los Angeles. So the big announcement. Johnny, do you want me to hold off on that or get into that right away?
Maybe we introduce Fred.
Okay, well, let's introduce Fred. He is the wet blanket of this crowd. There is Fred right there. I love Fred to death. I say wet blanket is a term of endearment. He's great. He is helping us with all the legal stuff around this big announcement coming up. And Fred is, I would also say, an advocate for things like freedom. A like-minded person, and he is helping make sure that I don't say something really stupid on this live stream that could get us in trouble. He is going to be making sure we're all legally buttoned up. Just a little bit of a teaser of what's coming up. So, Fred, I can't hear you, Fred.
Okay.
There we go. Now I can hear you.
Yeah, I'll just interject whenever you say something really bad.
Okay. He'll just be like, that's not true. Daniel said it, but it's not true. You don't take his word for that. That is not. So I get to say whatever I want right now. That'll be the fun thing, is like, how many times can we get Fred to interject?
And see if I don't interject on something. Yeah, I'm actually outside your office, just with you in the background there.
Yep. Yes, you are. Awesome. Our office needs a cleaning for sure. Oh, Jason from Utah. He invested $1,000 just now. Awesome. Congratulations. So now the cat's out of the bag. Investments. The big announcement today is that, yes, we are doing a fundraise for the first season of this Tuttle Twins show. What that means is this is not a Kickstarter. This is not Indiegogo. This isn't donations for t-shirts or anything along those lines. This is the opportunity for you as a fan and as a follower of the Tuttle Twins book series, and as someone that wants to see this series be made into a really great animation, a really great TV series. This is an opportunity for you to invest in the actual show itself and help make season 1 possible. And so how does that work? Well, we have partnered with a company called VidAngel. Some of you might have heard of it. VidAngel is our partner in distribution, which we've talked about in the past. That's where the first episode and episodes following will be available for you to watch. But also, VidAngel Studios has a platform for being able to crowdfund or raise funds to fund the first season with us. And here's the cool news, is we actually went and started testing this just kind of on a preliminary basis about 2 days ago. And we had a really good response out of the gate. And now, just a little over 48 hours later, we've already raised over $110,000. What's that number up to?
It looks like.
That's a screenshot. John, it's 61. That makes us look so bad. I'm kidding. No, but in just a little over 2 days, we've raised over $100,000. Thank you so much to all of those of you who have invested and who have believed in us for this. It's amazing. It's the only way this happened. You showing your support. So, Johnny?
Christina from Nevada invested $119.
Christina from Nevada, thank you for your investment. That $119. Thank you. That just came in recently as well. And do we have that screenshot, or should so you can't see it? If I share my screen, will it show it? About $115,000.
Yep.
Awesome. Anyway, so really good start. For those of you that are interested in investing in the show, you're going to go to TuttleTwinsTV.com. So that's TuttleTwinsTV.com. That'll direct you to the page where you can click, I think it's back this project. Additionally, you can watch the full animatic on that page. What that means is it's the full episode. Last time we did a live stream, we did a little bit of a tease for the first minute or two of the show, and everyone was like, "Oh, I want to watch more." Well, we're getting really, really good feedback from parents and from kids that have watched this animatic. And again, for those of you that aren't familiar with that, basically it is Helena says, "Love Grandma," resembling me a lot. Okay, awesome. Glad you like Grandma. But basically, an animatic is a collection of storyboards that are put together with the script, and we've recorded temporary voices in there. So you'll actually hear my voice for a couple of the characters. You'll hear Johnny's voice. Johnny's one of the writers. He's also behind running this live stream, and he's doing the marketing for this show. And you'll hear just some other people that we've kind of thrown together. My daughter's voice is in there. Those are temporary voices. But
From Utah invested $100.
Another update. Gregory from Utah invested $100. Thank you.
From Pennsylvania invested $385.
James from Pennsylvania invested $385. Awesome. Thank you so much for that. Super, super cool. Again, TuttleTwins.tv. TuttleTwinsTV.com. Again, that link is just right there. I think Johnny just placed it in the comments. So,
and any shares again.
Oh yeah, any shares, any likes, any reactions, any comments, all of that stuff is going to help this get out to more people. So thank you all in advance for doing that. So on the side again, you can see a little bit more of the details of what all this investment is about. It is an investment. It is not a guarantee. There is risk associated with any investment. We would never guarantee anything like that. But the idea is for this to be a show that eventually has profits. and that we can make it very successful on VidAngel's platform. There's a model for us being able to do that. And we are trying to raise $1,070,000 by November, what is it? November 2nd? November 3rd. So we think we can do it. We're off to a really good start. After just a couple of days, we're at 115,000. The investments keep rolling in. But again, invite you to run over there to TuttleTwinsTV.com, and you can check that out and invest there.
Thomas from Wisconsin invested $104.
Thomas from Wisconsin invested $104. Thank you so much. Wisconsin, I don't know what part, but that sounds awesome because I used to live in Appleton. Love Wisconsin. That's a really fun area, the Appleton, Green Bay area, and really like the people over there. So, and great cheese as always. Also, I'm still somewhat of a Packers fan. Connie from Oklahoma invested $499. Thank you so much, Connie. Joseph. Joseph from, is that KS? Is Kansas? $1,001. There's a bunch of college graduates in this room that don't know state abbreviations, and that's just perfectly okay because we don't need to know for our jobs. Google figures that out for us. Okay. Awesome. Thank you so much, Connie. Thank you, Thomas. That's amazing. Keep that coming. That is how we are going to make this whole thing possible. So, as a little bit of a recap, some of the things that happened since the last live stream is obviously we have released this awesome poster that's over my shoulder. The show poster, which I think encapsulates a lot of what the adventure and the fun of this first episode is going to be about, and honestly, the series ongoing. In fact, I'm going to do a little call out. Do you mind if I share my screen, Johnny?
Go ahead.
Are you able to do that yourself, or I have to do it? I have to do it. Click, I'll do it. Here we go. Share, and then now you can do it.
Yep.
Okay, so there it is in all its glory. There's our final poster with Grandma. And is that showing up, Johnny?
Yeah.
Okay. Grandma and the raccoon Derek, and Emily and Ethan hanging on for dear life, and the Tuttle Twins logo, and they're flying through that time tunnel. So we were really excited about that. It's a illustrator and character designer out of Las Vegas that actually did that for us. His name's Caleb, and he's super excited to be helping out on this project. So thank you to him for putting that together. We really love the way it turned out. You should have seen the way one of my creative directors here reacted when I showed this to him. I just turned it over. He's like, whoa! He was like, that's amazing. I knew this was going to be cool. I didn't know it was going to be that cool, kind of a thing. But anyway, it was really fun to see his reaction. So we can stop sharing now. Cool. Coming on back. Okay, so let me see. I'm going to make sure my housekeeping items. Oh, yeah, we got a comment. I can read that off. What do we got? Okay, there it is on screen. So happy to support something like this that is done in such a fun way to teach important truths. Thank you so much, Dana. That means a lot, especially because we do feel like this has to work first and foremost as a really compelling story and as entertainment. And then as we do that right, and we weave in those principles in that lesson, we feel like it's going to be much more powerful and ultimately will appeal to a much broader audience than it would otherwise if we didn't really kind of put our all into making something that we would just want to watch in the first place, regardless of learning about principles of freedom. So that means a lot that you say that. Okay, when trying to pay $1,000, only $999 are debited, so the 1,000 perks aren't unlocked. Can we please fix that so people?
Try to invest $1,000.
Oh, tried to 1,000 and there was some sort of a bug or something?
Yeah. Okay,
thank you for reporting that. We're going to, what was that? We'll unlock all the 999s. Okay, they're going to get that fixed. So thank you for bringing that to our attention. I really appreciate that. Okay, any other comments that were coming in? All right. Why invested? Conservative, supporting common sense show to have new generation learn the truth. I like that. I like what you're saying. The common sense part is especially resonates with me. Is that I think the best principles really are founded in common sense, and they are sort of blind to party and to all that political kind of stuff. But I think we learn some of the best things in life from common sense. So love that you're supporting that. And so thank you so much for investing as well. Okay, I'm going to jump into some housekeeping items real fast here. Covered the poster, covered the logo. Remembering to like, comment, share, do all that good stuff so that, again, we're boosted up in the algorithms on Facebook and YouTube. That helps us out a ton. And then now a little bit of update on where we're at production-wise. So this is really cool. On Monday, we recorded with, gosh, which one was it on Monday? I'm trying to remember. So if you've seen the animatic, let us know. Drop a comment if you've already seen the animatic, and you can give us your reactions to it and that kind of thing. But go ahead and comment there if you've already seen the animatic, because I'm going to be spoiling some stuff right now. And that's totally okay. I'm going to refer to different characters and things like that are in it. But on Monday, we recorded with, I believe it was, the character Frederick. Oh no, in comes Fred. He's gonna douse me here.
Oh no, I just wanted to clarify that it was November 2nd and not November 3rd.
November 2nd, not November 3rd. That is the last day to be able to invest, if it hasn't already filled by then. Again, we are going to be allowing investments up to November 2nd or until the 1,070,000 fills up. So whichever comes first.
Once that fills up, we will actually continue to receive reservations.
Oh, okay.
And the reason for that is because when it actually there's a processing after that to make sure that everybody's money comes in and to make sure everybody passes what's called an AML check. So we'll accept a little bit more than the 107, but then those who end up not getting pushed into it for other people dropping out will then get dropped off. But
okay. Thank you so much. For those of you that are just now joining us, again, we've opened up season 1 of Tuttle Twins, the show for investment, for you to help us make it possible. If you go to TuttleTwinsTV.com, you have an opportunity there to invest. And like Fred said, the last day to invest is November 2nd. We are trying to raise $1,070,000. If that fills up, again, we'll take a few more as far as like reservations go. We won't process those immediately, but no promises there if you'll get in. But anyway, that's the way it's set up. Is that helpful, Fred? Okay,
good.
All right, thank you. I'm going to get a little bit of a drink here. Okay. People are commenting about the animatic. Okay. Civicane, yes, it was great. I'm assuming that means the animatic. Thank you so much. I'm really glad you enjoyed it. I think it'll only be better once we get the final voices in and the animation. So,
Brett from Utah invested $199.
Brett from Utah invested $199. Thank you, Brett.
200 for the roundup issue.
Okay. You meant to invest 200. We maybe have a little bit of a roundup problem. We'll get that fixed. Okay.
What's the amount that to invest to get 100 credits?
$250 is what you have to invest to be featured in the credits of the show, which is kind of cool. So it's going to have a list of all the people that have invested. And again, this is not a donation. This is an investment for later on down the road. The idea is to make this a profitable show in and of itself, and that hopefully someday those profits can be turned back to the investors as well. So that's the idea behind it. Okay, coming back to what I was saying. On Monday, we recorded with Freddie, or Frederick Bastier. We recorded with his character in a sound booth, the official voice for it. Johnny, can we say who that is or no? Yeah, probably. Okay, so some of you might know this. It's this is a famous actor from the show back in the day, Studio C, or now from JK Studios. His name is Jason Gray, and he is our actor for Frederick Bastier, and he was fantastic. Really great comedic timing. A lot of fun to record with him. So that is recorded and in the bag as of Monday. As well, we recorded the voice for Karen, who is kind of the antagonist of this whole episode, and that is voiced by Natalie Matson. And she's also a Studio C alum, and she is now part of JK Studios as well. And she is just hilarious and perfect for that part, and it was a lot of fun. And then also we recorded me for a little bit part. So I have a little bit of a cameo in there. Johnny was directing me. That was a lot of fun. So we'll see how that turns out. So those were recorded. Then on Tuesday, we recorded with it was Ethan, wasn't it? On Tuesday, we recorded with the voice for Ethan. Also, a great experience. It usually took us about 3 hours to record for each of the parts to get every little last line just right and have that all work out. And then also on the day after, we recorded with Emily, and we recorded with Sheriff, and we recorded with Carla, who's in there as well. We also, yeah, and today we recorded with Grandma. She's outstanding. She's hilarious. She's awesome.
First generation?
Yeah, she's a first generation,
Mexican?
yeah, Mexican American, where she moved to the United States about, I think it was, anyway, some odd 20 years ago. Anyway, very funny woman, tons of personality. I think she's going to be great for that part. And then also we have recorded with Ethan, and we've only got like one or two little teeny parts left to record.
Tim from Washington invested $149.
Tim from Washington invested $149. Thank you, Tim. Appreciate that.
Neil from Utah invested $134.
Neil from Utah invested $134. Awesome. Thank you. That's great. Just keep those rolling in. That's amazing. Okay, so that's where we're at as we've recorded 9 or 10 of the 12 total voices that we have this week. We have like one more I think we're going to record a little bit later today, and another one just a little bit later. Okay, so we've got some questions here. Oh, my...
Stream, maybe?
The street didn't launch. Did you answer my question already? Oh, did we answer her question? Was hers about the bug that was being experienced? Yeah, so we answered that we are working on to fix that. I don't know if it's fixed already. Hopefully it'll be fixed soon. I'm not on the technical end, so I'm not going to give a timeline on that, but for sure that's been brought to our attention, and we are going to get that fixed so that doesn't become a problem anymore. Thank you for that, bringing that to our attention. And again, thank you, Tim from Washington, for the $149 to help make this happen. Okay, so that's where we're at with the voice recording. We finished all those. The other process that is going on right now is the storyboards that you see in the animatic today will not be the final ones that the animators are following. Meaning, what we captured in those first storyboards were the actions and the emotion and kind of the context of what's happening in each individual moment, and enough to get the idea and the vision across. So it's been great for that. But now we're going back through with more refined storyboards, and we are plugging those in and getting those finished up so where it's a little bit closer to the character designs that you see behind me here on the board. And that will kind of give the final sense of polish and will allow the animators to know exactly what they're doing at each stage of the episode. So that's what we're doing right now. Okay, we got a question incoming. Forrest. Are the books also included in the properties owned by the company? Are future toys and merch going to be included? Okay, 2 separate questions. Let's get them one at a time. Are the books also included in the properties owned by the company? By the one that you're going to invest in right now at TuttleTwinsTV.com? No, that is a separate entity. The books are owned, I believe, by Connor Boyack. And I think almost fully owned by him, but no, that is a separate entity. We've entered into a partnership with Connor for this series. Again, he's an executive producer on the project. He's a part owner as well, and he's an investor. But as an executive producer, he oversees that the principles are being taught in a way that's true to his original vision. And so he's been fully integrated with us in the writing process and everything from the beginning. And yeah, Connor's fantastic, but no, that is a separate entity. This is just for the show. Then the follow-up question: are future toys and merch going to be included? Yes, anything to do with this show, meaning the art that's behind me here, any toys, any backpacks, any shirts, coffee mugs, any of that stuff associated with the show itself will be part of that investment. In fact, that is one of the biggest keys to becoming profitable as a company when you have an animated show, because it's like 70%-ish of your revenue ends up coming from merchandising. As a kid show. I shouldn't say just across the board, or maybe if you're Star Wars, I don't know. But again, for cartoons, generally they'll see that most of the revenue, again, like as much as 70%, can come from the merchandising itself. So yes, that will all be included as part of it. Those will all be ways that we will be trying to make money. We'll be doing a plushie toy someday, I hope. Gosh, this is so confusing. There, right there, that little guy, that little Derek the raccoon. Hoping to do that. Hoping to have, maybe some sort of a toy of the flying wheelchair. All that kind of stuff is going to be awesome. Okay, Forrest, thank you so much for clarifying. You are welcome, Forrest, and thank you again for being on here and supporting. Okay, so let me grab a drink, and then I'll talk a little bit more about where we're at. Okay, so if you're wanting to see the animatic from beginning to end, again, that's on TuttleTwinsTV.com, and that's also where you can look at all the details to invest. We've got several people like Matt Kibbe and Mike Lee and Tom Woods that have endorsed this as well, and we appreciate that endorsement. We need all the help we can get. We need all the sharing we can get. Obviously, the messages of freedom aren't necessarily popular in all circles, so we really need you to make that happen as part of this whole process. That's how this whole thing's gonna come together, and that's what's made the past couple of days possible in the way of investment, where we're over $100,000 in just 2 days. That's really pretty great, and we'd love to see that momentum continue going forward. So your shares, your likes, all that's good. Does this investment roll over into future seasons? I'm going to try to understand what you're saying, but what the investment does is that the investment is in the Tuttle Twins show company. And so what that means is that's an ownership portion of the show entirely. And so it isn't just the investment, what it goes towards is paying for the first season, getting those first episodes up and going. Yes, that's what the investment funds. But as far as what the investment buys you as an owner are shares within this company. And so, yes, you will always have those shares within the company as a whole, whether we do one season or whether we do 25 seasons or 30 seasons or whatever it might be. And our vision for this is very big. We very much want it to be the kind of thing where stories can continually be told about freedom for years and years to come. That very much is the vision. We feel like it can happen that way. That's one of the reasons why we're doing an animated show, is because the characters don't have to age in the same kind of way. And so, yeah, that's a great question. Hopefully that answered it. Let's see, okay, here we go. Cruel Eyes. I invested $1,000 because I hope it will educate adults through their children. Most of my adult friends think it's
unfair.
Okay.
Doctors are paid more than cashiers.
The doctors are paid more than cashiers?
Yes.
Okay, yes, okay. So yes, there's a lot of people that maybe don't understand sound economics, that don't understand things like just economics period and supply and demand and that type of thing. So yes, part of what we hope is that adults will be able to resonate with this and be able to learn more. And I think what will happen is that a lot of people will have already had a belief of their own about freedom, or about something concerning limited government or individual rights, free markets, or whatever it is. And then they'll watch some of these things, and for the first time, they'll be able to put words to it. They'll be able to make it concrete in their minds of like, oh, that's how I can explain that, because Tuttle Twins just did it for me. That's very much the idea, that adults can have that aha moment along with the kids. I remember how that was. I remember what it was like experiencing those aha moments when I first read these things, that these books, that these books are actually based off of. I remember the first time I read the law and just being like, oh my goodness, this is life-changing. This is so common sense. Why hasn't anybody said anything about this? Why aren't any politicians saying anything about this? Why? And then I started going on and on with these whys and talking to people about it and being like, wow, like I've never seen it put in these kind of terms, but I've always kind of believed this. Yeah, it's that kind of a thing. There's where's the other one? The golden rule. It shouldn't be that hard. Or like the miraculous pencil. Yeah, absolutely. That's the way specialization works. The golden rule is buried in here somewhere. Anyway, I'm not going to worry about that right now. But yes, we want really to bring those teachings to life for adults as well as kids. And that's also a lot of the reason why a lot of the humor, as you'll watch the animatic, is geared towards adults as well. We've got a lot of kind of one-liners that are geared towards adults, and a lot of really physical kind of things, visual things that are geared towards kids. And we're trying to trying to do our best to appeal to both sides. Okay, let's make the next Simpsons, says Neo. Yeah, that is kind of the vision, is to be able to make something that has that level of humor. Obviously, we're going for a lot more family friendly than that kind of a show, but that's the idea, is to go that level of entertainment and hopefully that kind of longevity, and just continue to educate people for years and years to come. Okay, Simpsons meets common sense freedom. Yeah, love it. There you go, Forrest. That's fantastic. Okay, I'm gonna grab a little drink here real fast. Okay, let me look at my my housekeeping items and see what else I've got on the docket to talk to you about. I have another comment. Okay. Here we go. Magic School Bus had such an impact. This is going to be bigger and better and more meaningful. Well, thank you very much. I mean, the Magic School Bus is a little bit of the inspiration behind what we're doing here, and very much we're trying to integrate that type of educational value. And yes, Magic School Bus has been huge for my kids, and I think I even remember watching it as a kid. But yeah, that's very much the idea. It's kind of mix some of the comedy, adventure, and storytelling magic that's around things like, you know, Phineas and Ferb and Gravity Falls and The Simpsons and stuff, and bring in a lot more of that educational moment like the Magic School Bus. Some people have been asking what they can do to help out, what they can do to support. So, for example, early on, we had a bunch of people say, "Oh, I want to audition for the voice for one of the voice parts." And thank you so much for your interest. Thank you for those of you that did audition. Obviously, those parts have already been cast for this episode. We will have more needs coming up when we do all of season 1. But where we do need a little bit of help right now is potentially in finding a really good animator. If you know someone that, this is kind of technical speak, but if you know one that knows someone that knows 2D animation, specifically on a program called Toon Boom, 2D character animation, we'd love to be connected with them if you know a good animator out there, because we're still sorting through that. We have a production company that is going to be doing all the heavy lifting of the animation. We didn't get this far without at least having that lined up. But what I'm particularly interested in is establishing the quality and the feel of the show with about a minute of example animation for the production company to follow. And so that's someone I'd like to work with more closely to establish that movement style. And so if you know animators, that'd be fantastic. Another thing, we do have background designers, but I think we could use some more based on what we've got coming down the pike. So if you have a background designer, someone that draws the actual sets, like the house and the rooms and stuff where the Tuttle Twins are going to be, that'd be fantastic if you want to send those our way. Johnny, if they're going to email us about contacts, artistic contacts that could maybe help out on animation or backgrounds, where would they send that?
TuttleTwinsTV@gmail.com.
TuttleTwinsTV@gmail.com. That's where you'll be emailing in the event that you know somebody that you think could help out on this. So that's one thing that we're actually in need of. So next stage of development. Now that we've gotten this far, we've got some character designs going. We've got the storyboards that are finished. You've seen the animatic. We recorded first those temporary voices, and now we've recorded the final voices. So we're going now to take the final voices and plug them into the animatic. And then we're going to take final storyboards. The one that you've seen are kind of rough. They're just getting across the basic idea, the context, the movement, the emotion, and these other ones are going to be more fine. We're going to plug those in, and then that'll be the final thing we hand off to the animators a little bit later. It's hopefully very soon. And then also we've got to do our backgrounds, and we've got to do our props. So props are anything that a character might hold or that might move on screen. So, for example, if you've seen the animatic, they'll have a picture of lemonade and lemons. Those will be little props. All those things have to be drawn individually. We'll be doing all of that coming up next, as well as we had to draw things like Grandma's wheelchair and that type of stuff. Okay, I'm going to show, unless there's other comments coming in, I'm going to show a couple more character designs. Connor's on. He says, "We are going to change the world." Yes, we are, Connor. You're already doing it. We're going to help out. So we really appreciate you taking the lead in this. Excuse me, and really just diving in and making this book series for our kids. It's been fantastic. And yes, the idea is to change the world here all together. It's a lot of fun to work with Connor on this. Yep.
Right, Michael from Oklahoma.
Michael from Oklahoma. $500 just invested. Thank you so much, Michael. Appreciate that. You need to sell tomato seeds if you make an episode about the law from the book. We need to sell tomato seeds. Okay, it's a good one. Yeah, I guess that is tied into the tomatoes. But here, I'm gonna jump over here to my character designs, and I'm gonna show them a few more little designs that are coming up. Okay. You about ready to kick it over to me, Johnny?
Yep.
Let me. This is someone that's in the Wild West here. Let me make sure I've got this set up on my side. Bear with me. Thank you for standing by. And share. Okay. Here we go. Nope, not there. This way. So this is Carla. She is the one in the Old West that is having her cows taken away. So that's Carla right there. And again, this is her turnaround. Those of you that weren't here last week, these are the things we have to provide for the animators of what she looks like from this is called a 3/4 view where she's in color. It's profile, back 3/4, back, and then finally the other back 3/4 and all the way around to the front. And that's how they'll know what Carla's supposed to look like at any angle when they animate her. But anyway, she's the one that's getting her cows taken away. So let's go on to the next character. I'll show you a couple more. I think I showed Copernicus last week, didn't I? Did we show Copernicus last week? No, some of you might have not have been on. Here's Copernicus. He's kind of the friend that's maybe not the brightest. He is a really fun guy. He's going to provide some laughs and stuff in here, but this is a fun character. Little friend of the Tuttle Twins. Just a fun little kid. And that's what he looks like when you turn him all the way around. So there's that one. We're going to go to the next. This is a cow that we see in the rest. Remember, they are getting their cows stolen away from them. Carla is. Here is one of the cows that you'll be seeing from the front, from the sort of 3/4 in the profile, back 3/4, all the way around. Just a fun, happy little cow. Reminds me of the cow that we had growing up on our little back pasture where we would milk that thing by hand. It was called Milky. Little heifer.
Comment.
Oh, okay. Let me come back. I'll come back to this one second. Let me see the comment. She looks cute. Children will love her. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Yeah, maybe we'll be making cow toys. I don't know. It depends on how much of a featured part it becomes. Okay, and so for those of you that didn't see this when we did this last week, here's our awesome little raccoon, Derek. He's going to provide, I think, a lot of the laughs. He's just a little wild guy. It's going to be a lot of fun. And then we showed Emily before as well, but we'll zoom in so you can see her a little bit better. Again, that's not the final color. The one in the poster you see is the final color, but this is the final design. Lots of fun, smart little Emily. She's really into things like history and science, and just a really fun character. Here's Ethan, again, not final color, but yes, final design. There he is. And this is what he looks like when you turn him all the way around. Fun little guy. We'll make a really great toy someday. And here is one of our guys. This is Frederick Bastiat right here. Bastiat. Yeah, I think I was pronouncing that wrong. Frederick Bastiat. The wise French economist. Okay. And then here's Grandma. Haven't decided yet who's going to steal the show on this. It might be Grandma, might be Derek the raccoon, might be everybody. I don't know. It's probably not possible. Here's Grandma in her little jumpsuit. And as a little detail there, we just wanted to add something that gives her a little sense of her personality. She's got a little bit of a lightning bolt and that little white stripe in her hair. So that's kind of fun. And then here is Karen. Now, she will actually look a little bit nastier than this most of the time because she's going to be...
No, for colors? Yeah, explain.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, anybody, do those colors remind you of anything? Maybe certain, flags of totalitarian countries? I don't know. Anyway, a little bit of color symbolism going on there with that.
You guys say, hey, I'm French.
Okay. And then we've got, oh, that's mislabeled, but anyway, let's go back out. So anyway, there's some designs. Oh, I'm going to show one more, actually. I'm going to go for one of the crooks. I think I showed Sheriff last time. Let's show one of the bandits. These guys aren't colored yet, but here's one of our bandits that's trying to take away Carla's cows. There he is. So he's going to be kind of a conniving, sinister kind of guy. We're actually, I think, recording with him just even a little bit later today. So no rest for the weary here. Okay, I'm going to stop screen sharing. Awesome. Okay. Grandma owns the show for us. Yeah, hopefully she does. That'll be a lot of fun. Okay. You need to make her fat blue-haired SJW. Oh, sorry, I'm not following. What is that? You need to make her fat blue-haired SJW. What is that? Oh, it's also Justice Warrior. Yeah, there's an idea. If you're referring to Karen, yes, that would work. That would make sense as well. Instead, we just decided to go for a little commie. Something that looks just a little bit like too buttoned down to a communist, someone that takes themselves way too seriously.
She dreams of one day being the HOA president.
Yep, dreams of one day being the HOA president. That's her ultimate goal. Okay, awesome. Let's see here. Going through my list of what I've got to cover today.
Do you want to ask questions?
Oh, yeah. Does anybody have any questions right now? Then that would be a good time to do some Q&A. We're this far along. I'm going to kind of answer them as we go, but if you have specific questions on anything you've seen so far on the website on TuttleTwinsTV.com or about the show or whatever, I hopefully can answer those right now. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, just as a reminder, for those of you that have joined a little bit later, you can invest at TuttleTwinsTV.com. You can invest in the first season of the show, and we're raising $1,070,000. And that will be closed on, that'll be finished up on November 2nd. You can invest up until then. So jump over there and invest to help make this thing a reality for other people. Realistically, do you think, let's go ahead and put that one up, Johnny, right there, that question. Realistically, do you think we can encounter a lot of success? Yes, realistically, I do, based on a couple of things. One, the momentum of the book series. They are up to almost 1.5 million books sold now. I believe they're set to pass that sometime this month. So that's a lot of momentum. That's a lot of success with a book series. That's more than most writers will ever do in their lifetime, kind of a thing. So that's fantastic. And to translate that over, The Martian, when they sought out the book rights for the movie The Martian with Matt Damon, they had sold only somewhere in the neighborhood of something like 35,000 copies. And that's, I mean, I think by the time the movie went live, it had much more than that. I think it had several 100,000 copies, if not more. And of course, it sold more since that's come out. But I think, yes, based on the success of the book series, I think this can actually get out to a lot of people. And I think the ideas of freedom are actually very popular. Most people just don't know quite what they look like. Let me use an example. On an ad that we have going out, we haven't even promoted it yet, but the ad that we put up on Facebook for the fundraise for this series, we have people jumping on and say, oh, that's interesting. You're saying capitalism is a great idea, but then you're using socialism to raise money for your show. And it's like, oh boy, we're not even talking the same language. You don't have, like, socialism doesn't mean a bunch of people banding together to make something happen. There's an element of force that comes into play. There's a lot of things. So I think the appeal for this can be very high because I don't think people know what freedom really looks like. And if we can communicate that effectively in the same way that the books have, and then also in this TV series, I think, yes, it can be have very broad appeal. Also, our distributor, VidAngel, is growing very rapidly. VidAngel has a lot of momentum behind it. And so we'll be riding a little bit of those coattails and some of that wind behind their sails there. And so I think that'll be another element that'll push it further. But honestly, at the end of the day, the reason I believe in this is because I believe in you guys, in your ability to be able to help make it happen. Meaning individually with your kids, individually and sharing this with your friends, with your neighbors, with your family, as much as they can tolerate it, and then really pushing that message out there. That's how this happens, is through your investments, through you liking, commenting, and sharing. And I believe that's going to happen. I think freedom is actually a very popular thing. It's just most people, again, don't know what that looks like. And I think it's popular on both sides of the aisle, regardless of party. Everyone likes their freedoms, and it just needs to be taught to them in a way that they can finally make sense of it in a common sense way. Okay, Neo, I have a question that I know will come up, whether for the positive or negative, but how ethnically inclusive will, go ahead. How ethnically inclusive will the series be? Okay, that's a great question. So this series is not just intended for a U.S. audience, it is intended for an international audience as well. So taking that into account, some of the things that are going to play in that is Grandma is a first-generation Mexican-American. She is a true first-generation Mexican-American. We just recorded with her earlier today. She has the accent and all of it. She's the real deal. Mom for the kids is actually half Latina and half Caucasian, and then the kids are 1/4 themselves. We don't get into that in this first episode, but that is where we're headed with this. In addition, when they go back in time, Sheriff is African American. He's black. That's in the Old West. One of the two bandits is also African American. And then the neighborhood that the kids live in is actually going to be quite ethnically diverse, where they're going to have friends that are, Asian, Indian, African American, you name it. It's going to be kind of a little bit of a melting pot neighborhood that they come from. And so, similar kind of thing to Magic School Bus. So the idea is very much to go down that road and be along those lines. And so we're doing our best to represent people from all over the world that we feel like will love the idea of freedom, which I think, again, is at the end of the day, I think it's everybody loves their freedoms. Okay.
We have another. So Shane from Florida invested $1,540.
Shane from Florida invested $1,540. Wow. Thank you so much, Shane. That's amazing. I really appreciate that. That's fantastic. Of course, love to know more about merch ideas and plans. Do you need help with merch manufacture, distribution, and design? We might eventually. I know that VidAngel has some resources in that way to be able to help out in that way, but would love to know what you have in mind. Again, you can send an email to Tuttle Twins. Is it Tuttle Twins TV?
At gmail.com.
Tuttle Twins TV at gmail.com. The plans right now are to obviously do things like T-shirts. We are going to eventually be doing, I shouldn't say going to be, we are planning or thinking to be eventually doing comic books that are based on the series, coloring books that are based on the series. We also, here comes Fred, and we are also hoping to be doing things like coffee mugs and toys, like plushies for Derek and maybe others. But yeah, that's the idea. Is we're going to make the brand as accessible as possible. And I think a big part of what we want to do is just listen to what the audience wants. What kind of things are they liking? Which characters are like, oh, make something of this? I think that's a lot of what we're going to go for, is to really just see kind of what the audience is hungering for and feed that to them. Okay, awesome. Okay, that answered that question. And Neil says, excellent, that's great to hear. I think that was in reference to maybe the racial diversity one. Okay. All righty. Again, anyone that is on, please make sure to like, comment, and share. Let us know where you're watching from. And again, if you haven't yet, go to TuttleTwinsTV.com and you can invest in this series over there. Awesome. Did I miss anything, Johnny?
Would you want to screen share and show the funnel? The page?
Yeah. Let me just jump on the funnel and I will share that page. Here we go.
We got one before you move over.
Okay, so here's one question. I'd be happy to help with translating the show. I just emailed you about it. I'm Italian, and we've never had a show comparable to this. We haven't either, to be quite honest. I'm biased and with real educational topics, clean and fun. I can't fully guarantee unbiased, but it will be very much along the lines of championing freedom, regardless of what party or whatever that comes from. And so, not that freedom originates in any party, because it definitely doesn't. It originates with other things. But yeah, I really appreciate that that offer to help out with translating. That'll be a big part of what we end up doing is pushing this out internationally. Someone else also had asked about the viability of being successful as a show. I think a lot of that does really boil down to being able to go into places like South America, Mexico, and international. If we can find audiences there, I think then yes, absolutely the show. If we rely solely on the U.S., I think it limits us to some degree, but the idea is to be able to eventually go international. She says, I'm native French, immigrated in the U.S. in 2015, and professional interpreter. Do you want me to send an email? Absolutely, send us an email, TuttleTwinsTV@gmail.com. Thank you for that. Okay, will you seek out a big studio to pick up the series? Wow, getting right to the point. Neil wants to make his money now, or she, or whoever, I can't tell which that is. Right now our distributor is VidAngel, and that's exclusively for online streaming, right? Is the distribution exclusive online distribution rights are through VidAngel. And so is there a possibility of eventually ending up in some sort of a broadcast setting? Potentially. Definitely open to those types of things. We feel like that'd come much later on down the road once people could see some momentum really building. That momentum's building right now today as you guys have been investing, where we're over $115,000. So that's great. Okay, The Chosen's been out for about a year and they got their first broadcast deal. Wow, that's awesome. So they got a broadcaster. Okay, awesome. So The Chosen series, it's on VidAngel. It's the first multi-season show about the life of Christ. Right, but they now just got picked up by a broadcaster. Not a huge one, but they did get picked up by one. So that doesn't mean we'll get it at all, but certainly open to those possibilities down the road. Okay. All right. Just want to make sure the goals are in place. Absolutely open to those things. Okay, so now.
Another one before you switch.
Oh, okay, another one. Open to partnerships for bringing the show and related experiences, activities to national after-school groups. Interesting. Huh, I haven't even thought of that.
They're happy to talk. They work with 500 plus schools around the country.
Okay, yeah, that'd be really fun to talk about. Yeah, we would be open to that. I would say Connor, I know, has worked with some educators, some teachers and stuff that have adopted the books and are using it as part of their curriculum. And I think we'd be very open to that as well, this being circulated and being used in schools as curriculum. I mean, I would have loved this as a kid if it was part of it. Okay, so let me jump over now and show you a little bit of the funnel for... Let me click share on my screen.
Gregory from Utah invested $100.
Gregory from Utah invested $100. Thank you so much, Gregory. I appreciate that. It's fantastic. That's how this is going to happen. Okay, so here we are at the funnel. Let me refresh the page. Okay, $117,000. That's what we're up to. So this is what it looks like. This is where you can click if you want to watch the pilot, and then it pulls it up. And I was watching this previously, so it does that. Different place. But anyway, that's where that is. This is where you can click to back the project. And again, 32 days until closing, and November 2nd, so right before the election, is when this is going to close out. So how this works is you can back the Tuttle Twins, invest in Tuttle Twins now by purchasing Class A preferred units at 0.77 per unit. That's 77 cents per unit. And then creation, we will use funds to produce 1 to 3 episodes, depending on the amount of funds raised. And returns, if we earn enough distribution revenue, you would earn 120% of your investment before the founders take a distribution, and then you share in the profits with us. Okay, and then there's also here. So to explain that a little more, basically it means we are going to prioritize any profit distributions that happen first to those of you that are crowdfunding this first season. Meaning before I take a profit payout as a director and showrunner, before Johnny takes a profit payout as a writer and as a marketing director. I don't even know what your title is, marketing guy something. Anyway, before we take any profit distributions, it means we would pay profits out first to those that are investing in this crowdfunding. Okay, to the tune of 120% of the original investment. Okay.
And then continue.
Okay. Okay. Oh, and yeah, and then we would just continually be paying profits later on as the show brings in profits. Okay. And just to be perfectly clear, it could take years, right? To set your expectations, it might not have to, but it could take years before you see that come back, because so many of the funds will be going into funding additional seasons and getting this up and going. But anyway, here's the other video that you can click on, back to Tuttle Twins Project, and here's some endorsements from Mike Lee, from Matt Kibbe, from Tom Woods, and again, there's that poster coming in 2021, the cartoon that can literally change the world. We really do believe that. Back to this project, there's again these character designs. Why the Tuttle Twins show? We go into a little bit about that. Back to this project, what kind of a show will it be? And here we talk about marrying things like the fun and comedy of something like The Simpsons with the educational value of the Magic School Bus and that family friendliness. And then the challenge, making it cartoon requires money. That's why you guys are getting involved right now. And then making our own rules. We really do want to see that this can be made possible through a crowd. That's what will kind of determine the success of this thing. We really believe that can happen. That's showing over the last 2 days in a big way. Okay, Connor Boyack, obviously. He is an executive producer. We talked about him. There I am, showrunner of the Tuttle Twins show and director as well. There's Kelly Vrooman, one of our writers. Kellen Erskine, one of our writers. There's Johnny Vance, one of our writers who I keep talking to back there, and there's some questions. So that's what the funnel looks like. Send your friends on over there. TuttleTwinsTV.com. That will be the way that you can invest. Okay. I've covered all my housekeeping items.
Okay, more questions.
Okay, more questions. Here they come. Do you only need an animator, or open to collaborating or hiring a studio? Yeah, I mean, if the price is right, open to using a studio for it. It doesn't have to be just a single animator. Our budget isn't huge, and so I'll just be forthright about that. That's a little bit why we have the animator in mind. Usually, a studio is taking they have some sort of a markup in addition to the animator itself, and so we were looking for kind of a freelance animator. It doesn't have to be if the price is right and if the skill set's right, and we feel like that can happen. We are exploring those avenues as well, even right now. So yeah, would love to get your connection that way. Like I said, we've already found a studio that we believe is going to be the one that's going to produce the majority of the animation for the episode, but still totally open to having backup ideas. I mean, goodness, if we have several episodes to use it, it's very common to use multiple studios to be able to produce multiple episodes. So yeah, would love those connections. Okay, I hope most profits will go to ensure the future of the show before returns. To be honest, I don't care. I'm losing all my investment. What does that say? I don't care losing all my money if it makes people economically educated. I'm with you on that. I am 100% with you on that. We want to make sure that the show is on very good, sustainable financial footing, and to be able to create for seasons going forward. Before we start before we start doing that, we also don't want to lose money. We're not going to go in the hole for that. So we are capitalists. We are looking to make money. We want to make you money as well. We can't guarantee that you'll make money, but yeah, that is the idea. Is that we very much want to see the show get to a really good sustainable point first before we start thinking about the profits. Okay, now Nancy from California just invested $1,000. Thank you so much, Nancy. I appreciate that. That's fantastic. Okay. Anything else to cover, Johnny? I think I'm good.
Ask any last questions.
Okay. Any last questions before we call it good on this one? We'll have more updates coming in the live stream a little bit later, but yeah. No? Any other questions? Here we go. Neil from Utah invested $1,000. Thank you so much, Neil. Appreciate that. That's fantastic. Great. Keep those coming in. This is how it works. This is the way we make it happen, is through all that. Realistically, how soon are you looking to translate into different language? I don't know the answer to that. Jeffrey, how soon was it before the Chosen started translating into other languages?
They are, so it's probably
Crowd translated. Okay.
So when we launched season 1, we option to
Help translate.
anybody can do it.
Okay.
So it depends on how quickly the audience. So chosen
Okay.
2 languages for the country.
Wow. So the Chosen's in like the Chosen again. That series I referred to earlier about the life of Christ is in about 60 languages now because it's crowd translated. And as you go in the app and watch the show, it gives you the opportunity to be able to help with that translation.
That won't start
And so,
until season 1.
yeah, once season one releases, that's when that option will become available, and it'll all depend on how big we can make this thing, right? Of whether or not it translates sooner than later. But obviously, if you want to help out on that, that'd be really great. Okay, I think that covers us for questions. Thank you all so much for joining us. It's been a lot of fun. Can't wait to update you a little bit more, and make sure you share this video so that your friends can see it, so that we can continue to get this ball rolling and get those investments coming in and make season 1 possible. We're really stoked to be making this happen. I think episode 1 is going to turn out fantastic, and I think the entire season will as well. And we will see you guys on the next one. Oh, last questions, man. Would you be interested in taking on volunteer voice actors for other languages, perhaps giving stock? Okay. I would say always interested, always open to the idea. Just depends on everything coming down the road. That's not a top of mind right now, but again, once we get to releasing season 1, I think we'll be starting to think about those types of things. How often will we have conferences like these? These different Zoom. We're gonna be doing them every week. Johnny's telling me every week, so we are doing them every week. Because quite honestly, we will have new little tidbits to share, I think, every week about the progress of things, and so it'll be really fun to tune in and have you guys participate in all of that progress and process. Okay, thank you so much, and we'll see you next time, guys.